What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Welcome to Dining and Doodles. We are doing, as always, a request by you, the fans. Today we have a request put in, and let me take care of one thing that seems to be problematic here. Let's see here. Properties. I don't know why the music's... There it is. Okay. We're going to turn it up a little bit. But yeah. We do this each and every week. We do a request by you, the fans, the people that watch this program, or who that tune in through a later program, watching the stream or whatnot as it's published later across multiple platforms. This is a regular thing we do each and every week. We do drawing requests. This week we have a request to draw Gloria from Pokemon on a unicycle. This is our third or fourth unicycle. I don't get, we'll go into the unicycle bit, but I just don't get it. And they want them drawn in this outfit. So this is supposed to be Gloria from whatever chibi drawing they had here with Unique. So we're going to try and replicate the outfit. We're of course going with more anime slash game accurate version of Gloria here. And here, and we're going to be doing this while I eat some strawberries. Because it's strawberry season, folks. It's the best time to get strawberries. I don't know why I hit that. Alright, we're going to be getting on here, like I said, with this. Each and every week we do this. Let's see here. So we're going to be doing a couple different things. And for those that were wondering, where's Demon Blade this week? If you tune into our regular comic strip, our comic series, there was no Demon Blade this week. We kind of took the week off from it because I had some basically just artist block with it. And it was with it, not with other stuff. We had a bunch of stuff drop this today for our Patreon release because we had 2 weeks where we didn't do anything or get it out in time. And we also did a commission this week that I have not revealed publicly. But I mean, there are other things we're going to do, and Demon Blade will come out this week. In some capacity, won't be at 1 page, or the 3 pages I have sketched. You can even see the 3 sort of worked out here. I'm working them through. But at the same time, I've, can't always be of the right mind to draw the series appropriately. So we're just going to keep doing it. And like I said, this is the 3rd or 4th time we're doing a unicycle-based... Even with Pokemon trainers. I think, the 3rd time we're doing it with a Pokemon trainer. 4th time we're doing it, 3rd time we're doing it with a Pokemon trainer. Because the first time we didn't realize it was a Pokemon trainer. Ignore the clanging, that's me literally grabbing strawberries. Shove in my mouth. But yeah, we are doing this one, and I don't get it. I've said this before on some of the other streams. I don't get it. If there's something going on with I get the Pogo Ball and Pogo Stick, and next week we're going to be doing a Pogo Ball. I kind of get that, but I don't get the unicycle concept. Is there something that I'm missing that people are liking unicycles? I don't know. But then it's probably also the same person doing, or the same 2 people requesting these unicycle ones. So I can't really say much there. And it could be the same person, just using different handle. And there's no doubt there. We are trying to limit so we have a little bit more of a variety for people, though, now to limit it per seasonal request. So it's like, if you request one thing, we're not going to do multiples in the same season for you. Because it allows other people to have a chance to have their work done. And it's, just a way to make it fair for everybody. So I'm starting out with the mechanicals of the wheel of the unicycle. So I mean, that's basically what we're doing. There's some stuff I want to talk about and some stuff I don't want to talk about today. That went on this week, because we do kind of ramble on about things in the week, shows and whatnot. I will say I caught up to Stranger Things this week with the latest season. Do I like the concept they split it in half? Well, I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, this season was all over the place. And the fact that the villain was Vecna also goes to say, and for those who don't know, who haven't played D&D, don't know who Vecna is. Vecna is basically the badass god of the D&D world. Or not the badass god, but the most evil. It's basically Satan of D&D. So Vecna is an evil wizard that wants to bring forth usually Tiamat, who's not a good god at all. But Vecna is, I mean, he was the evil boss of Critical Role Season 1. So the Tales of Vox Machina that was on there, the evil boss of that is Vecna. So the final boss they would go and fight would be Vecna. Now, if they ever get to that in the series point, which could possibly happen the way the Critical Role succeeded in making that profitable and then turned around, and how profitable it was, or how good it was, that I could see Amazon Prime continuing it, even without, the funding from sponsors, but sponsors still probably would pay for it. They would have to change Vecna's name. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they had to change Bigsby's hand to Scalen's hand in that series. Even though it's called Bigby's hand, and it's a very classic D&D spell. And all the other references to D&D they've had to change, including some of the gods that they've faced or had earlier. So maybe Vecna would not be allowed. Vecna is very much, I think he comes from the, what novels? The Dragonlance, I think he comes from Dragonlance series, and he's the big bad in Dragonlance, or one of the big bads in Dragonlance. But yeah, I mean, I was not surprised to see Vecna as a boss, but it kind of makes me wonder, there's another half of the season, and unless this is the end of the series, I don't know where they're going, because they keep doing D&D references as evil villains, in the series. So it started with mind flayers, which were typical D&D villain. Then we also got what was it? Not doppelgangers. Demogorgon is a D&D villain. But now you go to Vecna, and I kind of wish they did a Beholder before Vecna. But I guess Beholder is very D&D. The eye with a big mouth and the tentacles. But, I mean, overall, the season was okay. My main problem is it's all over the place. I did not realize until the end of the season, and this is me kind of doing a spoiler, where 11 was. And even still, they end with them still all kind of being separated, and they're all over the place. I mean, it's weird. We have a lot unresolved in the end of the season, and it's just weird. Let's see, what else did I watched a lot this week, because I had it running while I was working, and I basically went through Netflix. I watched an anime that made me cry, and it was on Netflix, but it had a good reason to make you cry, and I believe I want to make sure I get the name right, because this was one a season ago or whatnot that came out, and I want to make sure I get the title right. Of course, One Piece is getting more episodes, so that's what kind of drew me in to doing more, as they're finally releasing the shows on Netflix, which is odd that they're not releasing it on Crunchyroll, but I guess they wanted to release it to a bigger audience, plus Netflix has the live-action deal. I think it's Kentaro. I think it's Kentaro Lives Alone is the title. I think it was Kentaro. If it's not, it was blah 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 Lives Alone. Very, very sad. Kind of. It disguises itself in a very happy tone at first. But it's very sad when you find out what goes on to the poor kid's life. It's gone on in this poor kid's life. That this literal 4-year-old, he's a 4 to 5-year-old, in the series, is living on his own in an apartment. And why he's living on his own in an apartment And basically, he's very adult for a 4-year-old. He's lived through torture, pretty much, or a bad past and enough bad things that he's very adult-minded towards things. And one of my favorite episodes is there's this kid who wants that he's friends with through school, and he's like, let's run away together. And he's like, make our parents feel things. And basically, the kid's like, are you sure you really want to do this? Are you sure, you want to make your parents sad, that you're not getting your way, that you're not having fun, or, you're not... It's the typical kid. Every kid wants to sort of run away at some time when they have an argument with a parent at a young age, at pretty much that young age. I remember my brother tried to do it when I was young, and I remember I don't remember me trying to run away. I don't remember me trying to run away, but I do remember my brother trying. But I mean, the kid's like, oh, parents don't understand. Parents don't understand. And he's telling this to a kid who has no parents anymore. Or, well, he has a dad, but his dad is not a good person. And we know this because he basically says, my dad went bad. And he can't be with his father because his father basically is abuse. And he's a child of abuse, and we don't know what happened to his mom, but she's dead. We do know she's dead. But we don't know if she died through suicide or whatnot, but it is heartbreaking, but at the same time, very, very well done, because it's great lessons in life, as told through the eyes of a 5-year-old who's lived a very hard life. In fact, there's one point you find out he's been eating tissues. I mean, literal tissues to live off of. And people didn't get what his deal with tissues is. And apparently he was eating off of them because that's all he had. That's all he could get. And so he had this poor childhood at the age of 5. And it's like, such a heart-wrenching anime. And it's only like 10 episodes. So if you want a good anime that's short, check that out. Check it out. I know it's like saying, oh, you'll love this heartbreaking story. It's good. It's very good. There's a lot of series that kind of go by the wayside, and that one, I feel, is one of those ones that if you let it go by the wayside, it will go by the wayside. And I think a lot of the ones on Netflix people kind of ignore when doing reviews. Now, of course, no one's been ignoring Komi-san because Komi-san's Komi-san. And I knew Komi-san was going to be big for a while. But at the same time, check out some of the other stuff. I mean, Blue Period's one of my favorites over the past year. But yeah, the Kentaro Lives Alone or whatever, Kenshiro. Really good series. Really good series on Netflix. Which is no surprise that Netflix is putting a lot of more money into the anime industry is they're getting rid of a lot of company or industry, other things, because it sells. And the stories are good. So, yeah, I mean, we need to, you know, hell, I mean, they got Pokemon series, as we're doing Pokemon, so it's a good reference. So, yeah. They're, I think, the third or fourth company that has the Pokemon series, though. Originally, it was Fox Kids. Then I think, briefly, I think both Nickelodeon and Disney have both had it at one time, and now Netflix has it. So yeah, I mean, you're talking a series that's God. When did the anime start? The anime started in 98, 97. So, I mean, you're talking a series that's 25 years in the making here. But yeah. We're, for those who tune into our gaming, I am a little bit tired. I did a lot of leveling up from our end of our stream last night on Persona 5 Royale. We will be finishing it up next week because we're at the end. So we will be finishing that up next week. The only reason I didn't want to finish it up, there was a bunch of stuff in the Mythos we needed to take care of. Especially trying to complete some of the characters' backstories so we could get them as confidants. We're not going to be able to get all the confidants. We just don't have the time. I wish we could. I'm hoping to at least get all the team, but that's going to be very, very tricky. We're on the end with Yusuke, and then Futaba's the only one that's really far off. And while I just did her quest in Mythos, it'd be a matter of it coming up each and every day for us to be able to finish it. She doesn't really have a collar in this image. I mean, it's a cute outfit in a sense. I don't like the checkered pattern. I don't like that. There. Okay. I also don't like the sleeves here. They don't quite fit. Let's try and repeat this here. And I'm going to do a little bit of a difference on the sleeve than the way the outfit is. Probably make this a different color because it'll stand out a little bit better. And let's see here. She's got a little, okay. We need to buff this out. This is a very, I don't know what you'd call this. It'd be clown-like, but it's not clown-esque outfit. What would you call this? I mean, you're not a clown. You're definitely not a mime. Is there like a happy between or something? Between normal and not clown? I guess performer, I guess. It's a very weird outfit. I'll give it that. Let's first do around the leg. Okay. We're gonna try and do a little bit of an abstract / realist background on this one too. Something a little unique. My nose has been bothering me all day today. Partially because I didn't take my allergy med until just a moment ago, but still, I've been sneezing nonstop since this early this morning. So I am going to have a red, raw nose in the morning. Okay. She's holding candy in this drawing, so I'm giving her candy throughout the drawing. But I mean, it's very generic candy looking wrapper. We're going to try and do something with them. Because we're going to be putting them spreading throughout the area. But I kind of was like, do I want to have her holding some candy to throw out? Do I, how do I want to put her hand in here? The left hand is holding a bag as she's on this unicycle. So let's see here. Oops, a little too far there. Still not too, it won't be straight. There we go. A little bit better. Yeah, my nose is such bad shape today. Alright, we'll do the work on the pattern of the inseam in a minute. Right now, we want to try and get the body finished. So. Something like that. There we go. I'm trying to think of what I can talk about. Because there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about stuff that doesn't belong on this channel, so I'm not going to talk about that. I mean, what? Excuse me. Hiccup / burp at the same time. I mean, I could talk. I mean, there isn't much to talk about, honestly. The Final Fantasy info came out this week. I guess that's something we can talk about. The Final Fantasy Rebirth coming out fairly early next year. Wasn't expecting it. It's going to be a PS5 exclusive, of course. Which pisses me off because I got the PS4 years ago for the re-release or for this series, and it's gonna be a PS5 exclusive. It's like, you son of a bitch. That was literally the reason I bought the PS4. But yeah, they're doing it in 3 doses. So basically, what it tells me is the story from this point on is not a remake, or it's all original. And I mean, the trailer kind of gave that hint too. From this point on, it's original story. So when you think about it, where it would end with the quote original story is after the pyramid, pretty much. They take on Sephiroth and the end. They would have Aerith die. This time you'd be able to save Aerith, and you'd stop Sephiroth earlier in his plans. Now, what they showed clearly was the flashback, that scene that's going to probably be what is at the beginning of the game, for you to both learn how to play the game and sort of catch up on the story where it last left off. Which is kind of ingenious. What this also means is there's not going to be that much to the game, I don't think. A lot of people are like, oh, well, that means that there's going to be a lot. Imagine us getting to Niflheim. Probably. So, I mean, that means we get all the characters, probably. Cid would be after Niflheim, but we definitely would get Vincent and Yuffie joining by that point, maybe. I have not played Intergrade, so I don't know. I know they're coming out on the PC or Steam. At this time, I am not looking to get them because I do not have a powerful enough system for Intergrade, in my opinion. I'd much rather get it for excuse me. I'd much rather get it for a game system, because it would probably run smoother than on the desktop. I probably could play it, but at the same time, I don't have the best of graphic cards, so it probably would run like butt. It wouldn't be the best way to see it. So I would love to play Intergrade, but not happening. Not unless I got a PS5. And right now, I do not have a PS5. And I am not getting a PS5 anytime soon because, well, I don't have the funds for it. I don't have the funds for a lot of things. But we are doing a vote on a poll on DeviantArt's site, which is EmbriaArts/DeviantArt, for our video game playthroughs. As I said, we're going to be finishing Persona 5 Royale next week. Or next Friday. Then we are going to have a replacement for the Friday slot. Our Sunday slot is going to be pretty much full for a while with New Vegas. because it's going to take a while. I mean, we just got to Vegas the last time we played. And that was like our third or fourth playthrough. So yeah. In the meantime, I'm going to take a break. I will be right back. We are back. Sorry for that. Had to rush to the bathroom. One of those situations where it's like, you will go. You will go now. Like, all right, I'm going. Now, I don't get... I mean, I guess it's criticizing the outfit. What's up with the ribbon on the shoe that's not... doesn't match the shoe over the stockings? Doesn't make much sense. I'm not the one to design it, but I'm not the one... Or, I mean, I can at least go, what? I messed up a little bit here, but that's okay. We're going to be putting in a ribbon. So. We've talked about this a bit before with drawings and art. When designing a character, and I'll pull up a good example from this week that we did. You want it sort of color coordinated character. I'll actually use two examples from this week, both from the same person who did the request, who usually times in here, Justin. of Cooking Dojo. We had 2 requests from him. One was a commission. One was our Patreon week work with him. And of those, there was a one. I worked a little bit differently on the idea than they did, or than he had, and it came out differently. But it came out, in my opinion, a better look. And the other, I just don't like. I can't for the life of me like it. Now, given it's a villain, so, you know, probably it's a little more accepting of that concept design. But, I mean, it's just, I don't care for it. I just really don't care for it. So let me bring those up while I'm working here. They'll probably be in my recents. Okay, this I believe, yeah, that's the villain. He had me design this week. Not that great, in my opinion. The color coordination's off. The design's a bit weird. But it's a villain. It's supposed to be punky, rock, a little bit. It just didn't sit well with me. Let's see here. Okay, the other one is not popping up here, so let's see if I can do it through. Pull it up myself. And we've talked about this last week when we went through the Bakery Girls with him that he did. We had a new Bakery Girl. We had Harumi, the lime. And I much prefer this look overall. It's a nice sort of subtle green tones of what a lime would be. I used an actual lime's coloring. She's based off of another character or familiar with or family with another character who has that same dark skin, but we gave her a different hair color, different hairstyle. We designed her to be her own unique self. And so one of the things I added was sort of this circle lime offset on her to give a little bit of a bit of this light color to pop up her skin a little bit. The dark green, and then I made the sleeves white because I felt they popped better as white. And then we made sandals white as well. This, I mean, I kind of went with punk, but I didn't really care for it as much. And the same was saying with this outfit. I mean, until they said, "Oh, it's Gloria," I was like, "Who is this?" Like, I don't get this. And they're like, "Oh, it's Gloria from, you know, Sword and Shield's female trainer." I was like, "Oh!" Like, this is a very loud and flashy outfit. Which, you know, if you're into loud and flashy, you know, go for it. Me, I mean, if you note with Demon Blade, I will try to style a character and their design a little bit in realism. Use realistic style and all that. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna bring the bag up. Maybe have it spilling a little bit of its contents. And let's see here. Do, 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 do. All right. The face looks weird, and I'm gonna go to a reference. So yeah, I see where the face looks weird. All right. First off, this is way too severe. Second off, the chin is off. All right, we're gonna redo the face entirely, I think. Okay. Try and make her look more like the character. Okay. Your trademark nose. Okay. Let me see that side. She's gonna have a side swipe. She really doesn't have ears. Okay, she's got the one lash. The unilash. How you get a unilash, I have no idea. I guess pluck out all your eyelashes except for one. And make sure that one's really, really thick. And unilash. And she's got these other lashes with no underlash, so they're not attached to anything. And let's see here. It does go up to a widow's peak. To do that. She's got different Pokemon. I guess this is from the game design. She wasn't in the Sword and Shield, well, the anime for Sword and Shield, because they decided to go a different route with the anime, didn't they? I don't know much about that Pokemon's anime, other than I know they went a different route. They went with Go, who is ambiguous gendered character. You don't know if Go's boy or girl, other than they say Go's a boy. So I guess he's not ambiguous gender because he comes out and says it, but yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. That looks more like her though, so we doing that helps. And like I said, I'm gonna do something a little bit. I'm gonna give her a bit of a collar, just because it'll look better. So, like I said, I do want to do something with the sleeve. So let's do. Okay. Maybe do the same thing she's doing in the picture here for her hand. So let's do thumb first. And for those who don't do hands that often, or who are always complaining, hands are difficult. Hands are difficult. One, practice, and you'll get them down a little bit easier. But two, and they're angles. Your hand is never going to be a straight line in a sense, but you can fake it to make it look that way. And three, it also helps to have a reference. Use your own hand. You're drawing with one hand, use the other hand to use as a reference. So as I'm doing this, I got my hand in front of my face. I'm gonna sneeze again. Ugh. Holding it back as best I can. That's too big. Let's move. No. Why did I not move in? Because I'm on the hand, that's why. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. So technically our character, drawing-wise, line-wise, is done. The character-wise. Now, we do have some other details to do, like the shorts and the pattern on the little pattern on the top of the stockings. But we can start coloring her. And of course, we're going to use the original reference for her as our color scheme. Because, hey, you know, when you got it, use it. And I don't know why I did that on the wrong player. Alright. So. I'd say I'd be happy to take a bath right after stream and try and clear up my nose, but I've already taken a bath today. To do that, just that, to try and clear up my nose. Alright, she's got this mousy brown hair, which needs to have a line right here. Or it's set. People say mousy, but it should be moosey, shouldn't it? I don't think of mice as brown. I think of them mostly as white and gray. And brown. This like deep brown is the color you want a chocolate mousse to look like. Hey, Damien. Said before, but you're back in your regular place. Not really. It's sort of a mix. I lowered the pitch. It's because we got it referred to. People asked us about that yesterday. Yeah, we've changed the pitch on the voice today or this week because we wanted to get away from the chipmunk voice. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's see here. Now we gotta do the outfits colors, which are not the best, in my opinion. Stocking's not bad, the ribbon not bad, but this green and this orange, just ugh. And it goes back down to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, you need to color coordinate the character. It's all over the place in this one. Are you going back to your I voice sometime? Maybe, maybe not. I'm testing things out. The I voice is really, really hard to do, or hard to keep up with. And it also doesn't sound that great. It sounds really high-pitched, like people have been talking about. It sounds like a chipmunk, which we're not trying to go for. I mean, I could do it. It's like this, but at the same time, and also, I've been sneezing and coughing a lot, so it's really, really hard to do it today. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a white here, because I feel like it draws out. But we might use the similar color somewhere, actually, yeah. I might change that from white. But I want to close this gap. Actually, I like the voice. That's why I asked. Oh, well, yeah. Some people liked it, some people didn't. And, I mean, it's a mixed thing, and I don't want to be, you know, always using a chipmunky voice because, yeah, especially on the games, it gets kind of hard to hear. The story times is also hard to hear. I haven't talked to you since I did the story time for Rhodey. I apologize for how I treated you, but at the same time, it was a difficult read. As we did it on the scene. I don't know if you watched it yet. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. We made it through half the story on the stream. But it was really, really hard to read and follow through. And then when I got to your self-insert, it just it ruined it. And we just carried on with a story that we had finished, or we were finishing up. In honor of Father's Day. I mean, don't feel sorry for it. I mean, you wrote something that you love, and that I will never fault somebody for writing something they love and wanting to share it. And I thank you immensely for that, because a lot of people don't. So don't give up on it. Just, you know, I give some advice through it. You know, hopefully if you watch it, don't take it as, you know, negative criticism. Take it as, you know, honest criticism. You know, tell the story that you want to tell. But I think the main thing I criticized was stay focused on the story. We didn't really understand what was going on with Rhodey at all. And that was part of the problem. is you start us off with that, and it made no sense after that. And it's like, okay, I don't get what's going on at this point. Just want to follow. It takes place canon time. I get that. I get that, but at the same time, there's also a technical issue that you have writing that a lot of people do, and it's when you have a separate character talk, you want that character to be in a different paragraph. You had all the characters talking in the same paragraph, and it's really confusing to know who's talking when. When you write a story, you want to break up their story, the way the characters talk. So if it's like so and so talks, and then the next person talks, you add a paragraph. You got to do it because it's the only way to make it readable. When you're doing multiple people, it's like, who's talking now? What? That's why it kind of helps. When I did Andromeda Factory years ago, I did it as a script instead of a normal story format that a lot of people do. If it helps you, do it as a script. Where it'd be like, this character talks. Narration of what happens. This character talks. Narration of what happens. That may help you out a little bit better. It was just really, really confusing, and when you're dealing with multiple characters like that was in a canon series, it's like, okay, I don't know who knows what, and they're going through time or going through place, and it's all over the place. And there seemed to be no focus on what we were drawn into at the beginning at all. So it's like, okay, I don't understand where the plot is. And I think we made it halfway through, and we're like, we don't know what's going on here. At all. This puke green. I think this is called puke green. I kind of used it for the lime on the character. Let's see. All right, I already closed her. On the character I did for Patreon this week that came out publicly. But it works better when it's in certain situations. This is just ugh. Orange and green do not go well together. Green and red go well together. I mean, you want contrasting colors, and that's, I think, part of the problem. Is the color scheme here is brown, purple, orange, and green. And yellow. So there's 4 colors, and you really should do 3. I'm actually gonna make those that. All right. But yeah, no, I thank you again for putting it forward. I again apologize, Damien. I know a lot of people don't like criticism. That's part of me, though. As an artist, I had to go through with criticism. It's when you go through art school, they teach you how to be a critic, in a sense. And sometimes you can be harsh, sometimes you can't. And I maybe was too harsh on that stream. But I mean, we ran across it a couple weeks before with fan fiction. that we just pulled off randomly where it was like, what the hell's going on? What? I don't understand. So a lot of fan fiction, you can do that. I mean, you can run into stuff that if you just pick it up and somebody's like, oh, well, you know, this is my fan fiction, and you read it and it's like, ugh. Try not to do self-inserts. That was one, like I said, one thing that I criticize harshly about. A lot of people do self-inserts, especially marriage candidates, which is what one thing you did do. It takes away when you put yourself, especially when it's the author's name on there. Now, I mean, if you're gonna do a self-insert, make it funny, make it, you know, make it, you know, notable self-insert. And you could still do a self-insert. I mean, I do a self-insert of myself in Demon Blade, and it's usually a running gag. So, I mean, you'll see me pop up and it'll be breaking the fourth wall. But that's an element of telling the story. I wanted to break the fourth wall, we'll do a fourth wall break here. I don't know if I'm going to have one in the current story arc or the current story. Maybe in the next chapter, the next chapter of Demon Blade, we'll do one there. But this chapter, considering we're going to be doing a flashback and there's not many characters in this story, there's not going to probably be a self-insert joke. Plus, this is a very serious story. I noted a lot of people aren't caring as much for this Demon Blade as the past issues. I'm sorry that you're not liking it. Unfortunately, it's important to the plot, so I kind of warned people that was going to be the case with this issue, Demon Blade. It's going to be different. There's not really going to be much action. It's plot building for the villain of this arc. So I have to build them up, and in order to build them up, I have to tell stories of the characters they interact with. And so, hey, I mean, that's what we're doing. I promise the rest of the arc is going to be action-filled. The next two chapters, well, they're going to be sports-based action. Well, sports-based action leading into regular action. Because there's going to be a football-based one. This is canon. We did this before. People were like, wait, this all of a sudden became a sports manga? It's like, kinda. It was intentional at that point. It introduces a character that's going to be reoccurring throughout the series. That is the Golem. That if you see some of the sort of art-wise and whatnot, he's the big sort of rock-like thing. But it introduces some rules of the Demon Blade and how it works. With it, which is why it's kind of important. I want to put this green up against that purple and see how that looks. Ugh. No. Ugh. I do not like this green. Let's try and trade it. See, that's a much better green against that purple. and that orange. It's much better green. Much better green. I'm going to switch that green. That's what I'm going to do. We got to do... All right. My nose is just drip, 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 drip. Da, da, da. Going back to the storytelling, advice that gives when you're creating a story. One thing that everybody says is read out loud. Read it out loud. To yourself. That advice is good and all, but I'm gonna go against that. Don't you read it out loud. There are a lot of great programs out there that you can do even for free on the web and have a computer read it out loud to you. One will help you catch a lot of misspellings, but two, it'll also help you make sense of the damn thing. Because if you can't follow the story, then something's not right with the story. And I use the program to review the stories I tell, to try and do I get the feeling that I get when I'm writing them. I'm going to be doing that actually, not tonight, but next week while I finish up chapter 18 and start work on chapter 19 of Mobster X Maid Girl. Because while the story seems okay in my mind, hearing it read back to me will help me be like, okay, there's issue here with the story. So, I mean, it's a great piece of advice for anybody. If you're going to do a story, even if it's comic work or whatnot, have something or someone read it out loud to you. And with computer technology, I mean, your phone can read it out loud to you. Your, computer can read it out loud to you. So there's no reason not to do that. Just to help you kind of understand your stories. Because if it doesn't make sense to you when it's somebody else reads it out or something else reads it out to you, then it's not going to make sense to the reader. Because the reader is going to have an absence from it. Which is one of the things a lot of people don't remember is when you create something, you're having somebody else come in and look at the work. And whether or not they pick up on it or not, it's up to certain elements. And I could say that for, it goes for my own work. Some of the work I hear a lot of people talk about, hey, you know, is this continuing or is this continuing? Tells me, you know, hey, somebody's actually following the work. Or, you know, people asking questions about characters. Helps tell me, you know, they know what's going on. There are other times it's like, hey, you know, where they misname the characters. Like, okay. You're not completely paying attention, you're half paying attention. Because, I mean, I get that a lot with Demon Blade. I get a lot of people say Mai with Tetsu, and Tetsu with Mai. So they mix up the characters. And it's like, no. Or Tetra in Mai, because Tetra is Tetsu's female name. So a lot of people will be like, oh, well, Mayuki is like, no, that's Tetra, that's not Mayuki, or something like that. So it's like, yeah, maybe the reader's not as clear on this. And it helps. It helps. Okay, I'm going to use that color on this ribbon. And that's completely screwed up. All right, hold on. You, and it should be... No, not be jumping that to there. I don't know why you're jumping to there. Oh. I mean, I guess I could talk about the Netflix layouts. And that's something of note from the week. Netflix is laying off people, a lot of people. Not like, oh, they're going under. They're laying off a bunch of people because they're like, oh, well, we want, you know, different... We don't want to be pissing off audiences, you know, anymore. We want to have a general creation of what people like and whatnot. Maybe that yellow will work better. Something a little lighter. Why did I do that? I did not mean to do that. Let's see here. All right, we got our brown of her, light brown of her hair that we need to do. I wonder if the reason why they didn't do Gloria and Pokemon was it was very Scottish, English area, and Sword and Shield is very, of course, based off those areas. If they didn't want it, or if they didn't have a voice that they liked, a voice actress who could do something that they liked with that kind of personality or tone in the Japanese. I don't know. I mean, excuse me. Ugh. I mean, she's not... She's not exactly the most memorable, I guess, female, in my opinion, or the most design. But I mean, she's got her personality. I mean, you can tell from her look and her design, she has a personality. But I probably would give that, I forget the name of her, but the female trainer in black and white. I probably would give it to her, being the most personality, and that's not saying, you know, her boobs. Although the one in black and white 2 was bigger and boobed. And they didn't use her as a character either. They went back to using one in X and Y. And in Sun and Moon, they used the character that comes along with you anyway. But, in the games. But yeah, they didn't use, they didn't use the character in X and Y. Or in black and white, excuse me. We're going to use a plaid pattern that I have here that kind of tries to match. So, trying to figure a plaid pattern that matches the closest, but I guess the one I have that matches the closest, more dark than light. Let's see here. And we kind of went over last week about doing speed lines. We'll do something similar here. Let's go on a different layer. So just kind of speed lines on this tire. And maybe actually let's do something. Let's do something unique with spokes here. Let's do... no, let's do something thicker than that. Go up to 20. Okay. We're going to do a bunch of spokes here, so we're just going to do something that sort of looks like spokes in a wheel. And I'm going to do something weird with them. So I don't care if they're even. I don't really care too much if they're overlapping something, because we're going to be doing a blur to them. But I want them to be there. Because I'm not going to do a major blur, but I'm going to do a minor blur. So... go a little longer because I did take that break, and I might have to take another one because the bathroom. Yeah, just something quick and easy on these spokes. All right, let's see. Filter blur, but I want a radial blur. Let's not do 5, let's do like 3. Maybe 2 and a quarter. That'll do. That'll do. blurring out the spokes, which is what I kind of want it to do. So we'll do a quick background here. Oh, damn my nose. We also need to do something for the bag. Let's make the bag match our hair color. Wrong layer. Okay, so we got a lot of purple. Let's do some pink-ish background here. Probably do something like this for background. Maybe a little bit of more of a toned down mauve or something. Let's see here. Something like this. I'll think about it while I'm doing the break. All right, I'm gonna take another break. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, we're back. And let's do what's called a reflecting color. So we'll make our street purple. Like this deep purple, and I want to put a curve into it. And we're gonna do all these candies. Need to do the ones in the bag though as well. So let's Oof. Like I said, maybe I'm getting a little sick. Maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm getting sick today. I could be. Whew. Gotta clear out that last sneeze. I feel another one coming on. Okay. Don't want to do too many of the candy tops because we're going to be doing the candy brushes. Bristles, I guess. I don't know what you call them. Wrapper. We're kind of variety them up a little bit if we can. Just kind of bringing this on over. Oh, messed up while I wasn't looking. I guess these are hard candies. I mean, when I see candies like these, I think hard candies. I think old grandma and grandpa's hard candies, the ones that are stuck in the candy jar, permanently. It's like they've been there that long. The air has caused them to stick to each other, and they're all one big clump. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you get the clump, sometimes you don't. And we'll have to say, I had a piece of taffy this week. Been a while since I had some taffy. I love taffy. I've always loved taffy. I guess I'm one of those people that love taffy. And for the longest time, my family would not let me get them, even though we made trips, of course, to the beach each year. And they're like, "Oh, you don't want taffy. That's a horrible candy. It sticks to your mouth. It'll give you a cavity." Never had a cavity in my life. I will say that hands down. I've never had a cavity in my life. And I love taffy, but I mean it's a mixture of how well the taffy is made, I guess. If the taffy is, really, really sticky, but has a strong flavor to it, it's kind of destroying the flavor of the taffy, in my opinion. Taffy's supposed to be a little bit of salty, in my opinion. I guess maybe because I like the saltwater taffy over regular taffy, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's a summer thing. I mean, it's kind of like peppermint's always a winter thing, but I'll have peppermint throughout the year. I don't get why taffy's not around all year, or is not portrayed all year. They do have it all year at Fresh Market, where I used to go, because it was one of the closest markets, and it was one of the best places to get butchered meat. In my opinion, it's still one of the best places to get butchered meat, in my opinion. But it at the same time is, expensive for them, because they're more of a niche market. But they always had the barrels of taffy. I don't know if they still do it, but for the longest time I remember, they had barrels of taffy. And different flavors. So you'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't like this flavor. I don't like, a lot of people don't like black licorice. So avoid the black licorice flavor. If you like the peppermint, they had the peppermint all year round. So yeah, it's something I enjoyed that maybe I'm alone in enjoying it. Or, well, I'm not alone in enjoying it, because it's a big thing. But, maybe I'm not as big on it, or I'm bigger on it than most people would be, I guess. I mean, shout out to me if, you know, if you prefer taffy. Why is this like this? This is not... Why? Oh, it's a color stripe. Duh, that's why. I was like, okay, where's my foreground background? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do sort of a pink background to help pop up the image a little bit. But I am gonna poof this, and we're gonna hide away that, because I was going to do, and I'm gonna still do it. We're gonna grab a darker purple. We're gonna do some twisted sort of abstract buildings in the background. And since we're low on time, we're just gonna kind of make these really generic abstract buildings in the background. Give them this sort of twisted look. Things going on as far as stuff we're going to be talking about in the next week. This is the week we're doing our anime review, and technically we're also doing the movie review of Magical Girl Madoka series. We're kind of doing both at once on Movies Galore and Anime Anticlimax podcasts. I literally was I hadn't finished up the TV series just yet for this viewing. I have watched it before, so I do want to note, you know, I've watched this series before. I don't feel it's as horror-driven. This is like my third viewing of the series, and I don't feel it's as horror-driven as as people make it out to be. Now, the odd thing is I'm going into this with a bunch of people who love horror movies. And they're the ones that pushed this series for this review. And I'm kind of like, I'm the one that doesn't do horror movies, yet I find this series less horror-like, probably, than they do. Let's do a little bit of purple in this background. Let's go to a little bit of purple here. So let's do... I'm going to do this with the foreground here. We're going to... Well, foreground. Let's do a little bit of purple here. And go to a darker... Try to go to that dark purple again. Almost reflect it. And so we're doing sort of like a Twilight image of her rolling through. Let's make the curved street darker. Make the image pop a little bit. Let's add stars, maybe, or something that reflective of stars. Got this a bunch of effect brushes. Last week we did it. We went through. We didn't do it with effects brushes, but this week we're gonna do effect brushes. I think this would be too frequent. Let's see. Oh, not bad. We're gonna pull the stars in the background, though, of the building. Let's do this. I'm gonna duplicate layer. I'm gonna put you behind it. Then I'm gonna erase the behind. Or the color. Let's do a soft erase, so that way it's going to be a little bit easier. Let's do... add in a couple of these candies real quick. Just do some quick ones. To do some quick ones, I'm just going to do them in the foreground here. Let's do one here, one here. Actually, do I have a candy brush? That might make this go faster. I might have something like that. I might. Effects, I don't think so. Cartoony stars. The clothing pattern, maybe. Halloween pattern, a cyber effect pattern. Food. Oh, kind of. I kind of have candy. Brush. Particle size. This is a different kind of candy that's in her bag, but it works for the image as far as basically of trying to do it a little bit in the foreground here. Trying to create an atmosphere with it. Let's see here. Add some speed lines. She's rushing. Let's add a shadow on her as well. Bring her original up so I can get it. So she's got this purplish shadow, skin shadow. So let's do that. So let's bring it about in here. Do a little bit around the nose, maybe a little bit around the hair. Thinner. We got a little spot there that we need to fix. Actually, that's fine, but let's do a little bit of a stack or sort of a stipple here. Those wanting to know the technique, stippling. Teach you that art class. Be taught in middle or high school, probably. I don't know if the elementary school you'd be taught stippling. But it'd be something you'd know about before art school. Hopefully. I don't know too much, what's taught these years in art school. Okay, let's do something similar with the purple on the stocking. And I'll do something with the bow as well to give it a silken. I'll do something with the bow as well to give it a silken look, similar to how it's set up in the original that we're being requested to do from or draw from. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit here. Wrong way. That was going to be this way. So using the same techniques that we did last week with the cars, we're going to do on the ribbons here. These are, I'm guessing, satin-based ribbons with their shine. So let's do a little bit. Grab a watery brush. Let's do highlight of this purple. Actually, let's just use that as our highlight. We're just going to make the brush a little small. So I'm going to just do. Now, the reason why you want to do a highlight in the dark area with satin-based or even silk-based, even sometimes leather. If you've got a shiny leather in a story or a character design, the highlight will sort of pop more at the shadow. But it also gives it more that feel. So I'm going to reselect that, and I'm going to do a little bit of a white, a very small version of the same setup with white. So smaller layer, and we're just going to just touch it up with a little bit of white. Just to add a little more gloss to it. And I'm going to do a little bit here. A little bit over here. Let's bring up the original again just so we can see what we're working with. So if you look, you see the little shadow. Somebody just did sort of a quick shadow when they did this design. Let's give her a bit of rosy cheeks. I do agree. Let's give her some of the yellowish-y, orangey, rosy cheek for her. So let's see. Her color, a little bit orangey. So we're going to go in there. Wrong layer. Go. Just do a little airbrush. Quick airbrush. Not that big. Of rosy cheeks. Alright. All in all, not bad. We could have done a little bit different, but hey, I mean, it gives it an iconic pop. It gives it a look here. And so this is, you know, a good way to bring out the artwork. We had to do a little change here with the color of the shirt, or with the shirt a little bit, and the color of the green, because the green just clashed badly. So this darker green works better with the purple and helps bring the orange out. So ultimately, we got a little bit better with the color scheme on this. So it's a little bit more, you know, attractive, a little more drawing of the eye. So yeah, all in all, not bad. Not bad. I'm not disappointed with this week's piece. Let's go on to our sponsor. And if you listened into our stream last week, or last night, I ate one of these. I ate a Built Bar. I ate, in fact, what was it? A brownie batter puff Built Bar. It is one of their new puffs that they came out with new flavor. This week, they announced a coconut and chocolate puff. I don't know how you do that, but hey, you know, they come out with new puffs, new bars each and every week with flavors that are their focus. When they make these, they make them their focus. And you're like, well, why will I eat a Built Bar? Why would I do that? Well, they're great replacements for candy bars, but they're also protein bars. They were originally brought out as protein bars, and they wanted them to have good flavor, because most protein bars, they taste like crap. They absolutely do. They taste like sawdust. Right now, I've been trying their granola bar, which is their new lineup of granola bars, plus their new brownie batter. So those were two things I had ordered, and I currently have in my list in my home that I am enjoying. And yeah, hey, I eat these products. They're great. I went to them for the advertisement here. They are low carb, low sugar, low calorie, high in fiber, high in protein replacements for candy. I mean, absolutely, these by far are a great replacement for candy. I don't have anything right now sweet other than fruit and Built Bars in my house. So if I wanted to have something candy-like or dessert-like, I'm going for a Built Bar. In fact, I had one earlier today. I had a ruby chocolate. I had one of those left over. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. So yeah, go to built.com, use the promo code EmbryArts. I use it. Damien, who was on here earlier, they've been using it as well. They've been picking up from where we are. Absolutely. Go to built.com, use code EmbryArts, get 10% off your order on top of what other specials they've got going. So if they've got a great special going for, 25% off this product, you get that 25% off that product, and you get the 10% off your order. That is genius. Hey, check them out. They are delicious. I guarantee they will not disappoint. That is, again, built.com. Use the promo code EmbryArts. Now, going back to our drawing, I want to pull up the full drawing and full display here as much as we can here for you all. And I want to thank our people for putting in the request. As always, if you have a request for something you want drawn, or if you want something on our Storytime stream, contact us. We're more than happy. Put a comment below on these. Always like, comment, and subscribe our channel. We bring out new content. We do 4 times a week posts. Maybe we'll do some more in the future, or add some more to the future. But we do have, conflicting streams, because like I said, I've got to do some stuff with Movies Galore and Anime Anticlimax this week. We got 2 of those streams to do. And we also eventually are going to be doing a filming of best openers, the top 20 best openers in our opinions. So we'll be doing that also soon. I'm trying to go through my list of best openers to choose from. So we're going to be eventually doing that film shoot. Until then, as always, enjoy creating something. Create a story, create a, artwork, create something. Be creative, bring out the creativity in you, and share it with the world. That is what we're here to do, and I want to thank you all for joining in. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.